PS4 players are finally getting access to patch 1.5, and in this very quick video, I want to tell you the very first 5 things that you should be doing as soon as you log in. Stick around. PS4 players, oh man, I am bitterly disappointed that you have had to go through so much shit throughout the life of this game. I truly hope that whatever comes next year is not the same as what you guys have had to go through in year 1. Trying to do what I can to help out, I wanted to put together a very quick guide for PS4 players for the moment that they log into patch 1.5. They know exactly what to do and they're able to catch up ASAP on all the awesome stuff that has been added to the game. These tips are about getting you geared up fast, but not just geared with the right stuff, the right weapons, the right mods, the right named pieces of gear that really get you on the right foot at the start of this patch, getting you ready for either PvE or PvP content, whichever is your preference. So let's get stuck straight into it. The very first thing that you're looking to do as soon as you log in is getting your vendors up to the point where they're able to sell you 256 gear. You'll notice when you log in that you are 229 gear score and all of your vendors will sell you 229 gear, even if you change your world tier to the newly added world tier 5. This is because the vendors now sell you gear based upon your personal gear score. So you actually need to get your gear score up a little bit in order to access the new stuff that they are selling. To do this, there's 2 very quick tips that I would offer. Firstly, of course, change your world tier to world tier 5. That's very important. Secondly, if you're a season pass holder, go and collect your season pass supply drop. If you have not already collected it, it will drop you 3 items at 256 gear score, which is all that you need to push yourself up into that next vendor bracket. If you have collected this already, my advice is simply go and do some of those missions around the open world map that are just allowing you to collect target intel for HVTs. They're super easy to do. They'll drop you enough items, they'll push you into that vendor bracket, and you're done. All you need is 3 items at 256 gear score. Just equip them, and after that, your gear score is pushed up. You can now buy 256 gear from the vendors. Number 2, at this point, we are now ready to hit the vendors. Now, in the description below, I've put the vendor reset video that I've done for the week that outlines all of the good stuff that you may want to buy. However, there are a few headline items I'll just mention right now so that you don't need to sit through that whole video. The first is the Pecan, which is the LMG available at the base of operations at the special equipment vendor upstairs in the cage. The Pecan is just a top tier weapon that has recently been buffed because Swift received a buff. It now does 25% reload speed increase versus 15%, and also Destructive now affects enemy armor damage in PvP, meaning it is obviously a more potent weapon. The Pecan has a higher base damage than other LMGs of the same variant. It's that RPK type. It's just a top tier weapon, and I'd really recommend just picking it up as soon as you load in. It's a very good way to spend your money. At the Meat Locker safe house, there's one of the newly added FAMAS assault rifles with a really excellent roll on it. It's got Destructive, it's got Unforgiving, and it's got Uncomplicated. You will see pretty much everyone running the Alpha Bridge FAMAS combo at the moment, especially if they've got Barrett's chest piece, which we'll talk about in a moment. But it's just a really nice assault rifle, and it's just a great roll on that assault rifle. It's very meta right now. If you want to make yourself competitive in PvP, in my view, there are very few builds which will do better than that. So go and pick that up. It's a great purchase. At the East 42nd Street DZ checkpoint, there is an absolutely fantastic stamina mod there. It rolls with base stamina and bonus armor on it. It's exactly the kind of mod that you want in your gear. You'll find that you're probably going to need to put 1 or 2 firearms mods into your gear in order to hit your weapon talent requirements, and then stamina is what you put in there after that, loaded with lots of bonus armor. I bought 4 or 5 of these and just piled them into my gear. They are pretty much best-in-slot mods, and you can buy them for only 21,000 Dark Zone funds. Not bad at all. Similar to that, at the DZ4 safe house, the one right in the middle, the one that sells the gear mods, They're actually selling a firearms gear mod with bonus armor. This is the other type of mod that you'll want in your gear most of the time. So pretty much straight out of the gate, your best-in-slot mods are taken care of thanks to the vendors. Not a bad start. Finally, there's also a pair of Savage gloves that are available at the DZ2 checkpoint. It's got base firearms, Savage, critical hit chance, SMG damage, and critical hit damage. They're pretty much gold roll status for anyone looking to run a SMG focused build, particularly in PvP. So pick those up. They are really, really nice. And finally, I'd recommend checking out specific gear set pieces that are on sale at the base of operations in the terminal. This guy here sells a variety of gear set pieces, and they actually rotate week to week. So do check them out and just see what's going to fit your chosen build. Because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great rolls there. In particular, this new defense set of knee pads here is almost a perfect roll. It's exactly what I purchased. I'm using them right now. A really great start. So that's almost all of the stuff from the vendors. The third point on the list of your top 5 things to do in this expansion hints is to roll lots of MP7s after buying the MP7 blueprint. This vendor over here sells blueprints. He's selling an MP7 this week. I know it really sucks that PS4 players missed out on that MP5 last week. Massive have said that they are going to try and get it to you by some means. I really hope that they're able to do that. But in the meantime, this is an excellent replacement. The MP7 has been buffed. It's now once again the best burst fire SMG in the game. Plenty of damage, particularly in PvP. My advice, buy the blueprint and then just roll a whole bunch of them until you get the god rolls that you are chasing. Shouldn't be too hard, especially given that you can recalibrate the thing to get exactly what you're after. It's a really, really good start to the expansion. So you could do a lot worse than crafting yourself quite a few of these. Number 4 point on the list, and this is up to you. My personal advice is to actually vendor all of your 229 gear straight away, you know, because I went through the whole process of like trying to, you know, manage my inventory and whatever, thinking 150 stash size is great and I'm never going to be able to fill it up. Turns out I filled it up almost immediately because I have been playing a lot of this game and the loot just comes so thick and fast, you know, so just save yourself the hassle. My advice to you right now, just sell all of your 229 gear and just start collecting new stuff because you're going to get plenty of it really fast. I'd hold on to your really awesome god roll weapons because they can be used with Alpha Bridge gear sets. So, you know, if you've got a really great SMG that's at 229, it's going to be easier to hit the requirements for that. That's going to work really well with Alpha Bridge, so that's why I'd recommend holding on to them. But everything else, your mods, your gear mods, your weapon mods, your actual gear sets, all of that stuff, I reckon just bin it, and then you can use the credits to do something else. What might you do with those credits, you ask? Well, I'd recommend just buying a whole bunch of stuff from this guy right here, or any of the vendors really that sell these caches. They're 400k per cache. And they have a very high chance to drop a yellow item and a small chance to drop a gear set item. I bought like 20 or 30 of these as soon as I started, and I just got some stuff, and maybe I didn't need all of it, obviously I got rid of most of it, but the 4 or 5 things that I got from those chests was totally worthwhile because we just get so many credits now as well. Like, I just have more credits that I know what to do with, so just dumping that money at the start of the expansion is going to give you a really good leg up and hopefully get you some really nice drops. So do that. You also get Phoenix credits every one of those boxes that you buy, so you can actually use those Phoenix credits to buy gear set caches from this guy down here. Alternatively, you could just buy specific gear pieces or blueprints or whatever you like. It's a really good way to make Phoenix credits on the side. Number 5 on the list, what should you do? This is where the grind begins, and the question that you're asking yourself is, where should I start my gear grind? And in my view, the very best place that you can start your gear grind right now is in Lexington, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, you may have heard about a newly added gear piece. It's called Barrett's chest piece, right? This has a whole bunch of stuff on it, right? If you have no abilities on cooldown, it will give you 10% bonus skill power. If you have 1 ability on cooldown, it will give you 5% weapon damage. And if you have 2 abilities on cooldown, it will give you 10% bonus armor. Now, none of those things stack, by the way. It's one or the other. They're mutually exclusive. But it's just awesome, this chest piece. It's pretty much best in slot for a vast majority of builds that are now operating, in particular, the Alpha Bridge build that you're seeing a lot of with the FAMAS. The fact is that if I use both of my abilities while I'm PvPing and I get bonus 10% armor when I'm already stacking armor, that is just a disgusting amount of bonus armor coming to the table. So yeah, I mean, just focus on getting this chest piece. The reason I say Lexington is because Lorraine Barrett, the boss, has a higher chance to drop this chest piece. However, it can drop from any other boss in missions, and it can also drop from field caches and combat caches and all that sort of stuff. So you can get it anywhere almost. Anywhere in the light zone, that is, or anywhere in missions. You can't get it in the dark zone, as far as I understand. I've never heard of anyone getting it there, but yeah, you do have a higher chance of getting it from Lorraine, and that's why I recommend doing Lexington. The other thing about that is that everyone is doing this right now. Like, everyone is farming for this chest piece, and that means if you're trying to matchmake into 4-man groups on challenge mode, you're going to be able to get a Q or a Q pop very, very quickly. There's very little waiting around. I'm sure that'll be the case for PS4 players as well. Everyone's going to be jumping in trying to get this chest ASAP. Of course, the other thing about Lexington, it's very easy to complete. It's really quick. You can do a run in around 10 to 12 minutes with a proper group. And finally, it will reward you with a ton of loot. I have farmed this damn chest piece for 12 hours straight yesterday, and I didn't get it, right? So obviously that's a lot of Division to play, but like, I need this goddamn item before I go on holidays, and it just hasn't dropped for me, so I just kept doing it until it's done. In that time, 12 hours of play, I have cycled through my entire inventory about 6 or 7 times. I'm at the point now where I don't even sell stuff. I literally just, like, as in, I don't look at the items that I get anymore. I already have everything I need. I'm literally just straight away D'ing it and going to use it for crafting materials in the future, because I don't need any more credits either, right? So Lexington, tons of loot, tons and tons and tons of loot. And so it's really good for that way. So that's my advice to you. The best way that you can spend your time farming at the beginning is to do that. But obviously that can be really boring. And I could also recommend just getting out there and just having fun, playing the game, going into the dark zone, PvPing with your new alpha bridge for Mars, whatever. Just enjoy the game, and do whatever you enjoy, as I said. But if farming is your thing and you really want to make the most of your farming route, then I'd say Lexington is definitely going to be the best way to go. Anyway, that is it, guys. Those are my top 5 tips for now. Get your vendors to 256, buy all the good stuff, craft heaps of MP7s, vendor all your 229 gear and just buy heaps of caches with it, and finally farm Lexington in pursuit of Barrett's chest and lots of loot. You're going to be off to a very good start in the game, and you'll be able to sort of do whatever you like after that. If you want to go and tear up the dark zone with a best-in-slot build, I guarantee you'll be able to do it after just a few hours of farming Lexington. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, do drop it a like. Just a note that I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 other videos this week, and then after that I'm on holidays, but I'll be back soon after that with plenty more Division coverage. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're into that sort of thing, but for now, thank you very much, take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.